in the years ahead. Operation Rhino has been underway for some months now in northern Natal, removing the estimated surplus of 350 white rhino which have wandered out of the Omphalosi Game Reserve. The 250 rhinos still in the reserve is considered to be the maximum number for its 72,000 acres. White rhino, which are found nowhere else, have now become an important South African export, with animals being sent to zoos and game parks all over the world. But first, the rhino has to be caught. No simple matter considering its ton weight and unfriendly disposition. The game wardens rendezvous with their assistants on horseback. And there are the rhino, some of which are destined for Rhodesian game parks. Watch this big fellow prick up his ears, ready to attack. Here he comes. No. The rhino must be anaesthetized before he can be caught. Senior game warden Ian Player loads the cartridge of anaesthetic into his gun, and the whole dart is then fired at the rhino. The chase is on, with Warden Player standing up in the back of the Land Rover to get a quick shot in. He has to be an expert at ducking to avoid getting his face torn open by branches of thorn trees. Despite their bulk, the rhino work up quite a speed, and it takes skillful driving over rough ground to get within range of the animals. There are, of course, no roads. The pursuers close in. Here comes the shot. The horsemen come into their own after the dart has struck home. Their job is to follow the rhino without frightening it until the anaesthetic begins to work. This sometimes happens within 100 yards, sometimes as much as 8 miles. And here's our quarry beginning to feel the effect of the dart in his hind quarters. But although he looks dopey enough, the rhino is still very dangerous, and the wardens, including Rupert Fothergill of Kariba's Operation Noah fame, are in no hurry to move in. Finally, the rhino decides it's time to take a little nap. Warden Player injects an antidote which will wake him up long enough to get him into a stout cage which has been moved up in front of him. Incidentally, the rhino feels no pain from this tagging or the injections and suffers no after effects. Wakey, wakey, old chap. Once inside the cage, the rhino will go straight to sleep again and wake up in camp. The rhino is kept in the base camp for 3 weeks until he becomes fairly tame. Although he's kept in a pen, the rhino is fed in his cage so that he'll lose all fear of it by the time he has to travel in it. The white rhino gradually loses his fear and suspicion of man and can even enjoy a little romp with his keeper. And before long, this fine specimen will be on his way to his new home in Rhodesia.